When the doors of the military conference room swung open, no one could have anticipated the profound impact one man would make on the proceedings. Jin, the eldest member of global sensation BTS and a freshly discharged soldier, made an unexpected appearance at a high-level military meeting. What was his purpose there? Was this merely a symbolic gesture, or did Jin have something groundbreaking to say about the rampant issue of bullying within military ranks, a topic that has recently surged into the spotlight due to Jungkook's harrowing experiences? As whispers of the meeting began to circulate, the air was thick with speculation. Why had Jin decided to involve himself in such a delicate and contentious matter, especially now that he had officially completed his mandatory service? Could his presence signify a turning point not just for his younger bandmate, but for the entire military system? Inside the room, the atmosphere was tense. Commanders, senior officers, and other influential figures from various divisions were present, each aware of the weighty topic on the agenda. Jin, dressed in a simple yet dignified outfit that reflected both humility and authority, took his seat among them. His calm demeanor betrayed little of the storm brewing within. The issue at hand was the bullying scandal involving Jungkook, who, despite his resilience and reputation as BTS's golden magne, had become a victim of a toxic environment. Reports of verbal harassment, psychological manipulation, and even physical intimidation had sparked outrage among fans and the public. As news of the scandal broke, it became evident that this was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader systemic problem within the military. For Jin, this issue was deeply personal. Having spent nearly 2 years serving in the military, he had witnessed firsthand the challenges faced by soldiers in adapting to the rigid hierarchy and harsh conditions. Though he had emerged stronger from his service, he knew that not everyone was as fortunate. The thought that his youngest bandmate was now enduring such trials filled him with a sense of urgency and responsibility. As the meeting commenced, Jin rose to speak. His voice, steady yet laden with emotion, captured the attention of everyone in the room. He began by recounting his own experiences in the military, acknowledging both the hardships and the camaraderie he had encountered. He spoke of the values instilled in him during his service, discipline, respect, and unity, and how these values were being undermined by the toxic culture of bullying. "How can we expect our soldiers to defend our nation?" Jin asked, his voice breaking slightly, "if they cannot feel safe among their own comrades?" His words hung in the air, resonating deeply with those present. Jin went on to highlight the need for systemic change, proposing measures to address the root causes of bullying, such as better training for officers, stricter enforcement of anti-bullying policies, and the establishment of support systems for victims. He also emphasized the importance of fostering an environment of mutual respect and empathy within the ranks. As he spoke, it became clear that Jin was not merely voicing concerns, but offering a vision, a blueprint for a military culture that prioritized the well-being of its soldiers. His proposals were met with nods of agreement from many in the room, though a few remained skeptical. Could a celebrity, albeit one with first-hand experience, truly understand the complexities of military life? Jin's response to such doubts was both humble and powerful. He acknowledged his unique position as a public figure and a former soldier, emphasizing that this dual perspective gave him both insight and a platform to effect change. "I am not here as a member of BTS," he said. "I am here as someone who has served, who has seen the good and the bad, and who believes that we can do better." The turning point of the meeting came when Jin addressed Jungkook's ordeal directly. Fighting back tears, he spoke of the pain he felt upon learning of his bandmate's struggles. "Jungkook is strong, but no one should have to endure what he has faced," Jin said, his voice trembling with emotion. "This is not just about him. It's about every soldier who has suffered in silence. It's about making sure this never happens again." The room fell silent as Jin concluded his speech. Even the most skeptical of commanders seemed moved by his words. For a moment, the hierarchical barriers that often defined military culture seemed to dissolve, replaced by a shared commitment to change. As the meeting progressed, Jin's proposals were discussed in detail. Several commanders voiced their support, while others suggested additional measures to tackle the issue. By the end of the session, It was clear that Jin's intervention had sparked a shift in attitudes. A resolution was passed to launch a comprehensive review of the military's anti-bullying policies, with input from both current and former soldiers. Outside the conference room, the reactions were equally profound. Soldiers who had experienced bullying spoke openly about their experiences, inspired by Jin's courage. Fans of BTS, who had followed the developments with bated breath, flooded social media with messages of support and gratitude. Jin isn't just a singer, one fan wrote. He's a leader, a protector, and a voice for those who can't speak out. For Jin, the meeting marked the beginning of a new chapter in his journey. While he had initially planned to focus on his career after completing his military service, he now felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but he was determined to see it through. As he left the military base that day, Jin was met with a group of soldiers who had gathered to thank him. Among them was a young recruit who had been on the verge of quitting due to bullying. "Your words gave me hope," the recruit said, tears streaming down his face. Jin embraced him, offering words of encouragement. "We're in this together," he said. The impact of Jin's actions will undoubtedly be felt for years to come. As the military works to implement the changes he advocated for, one question remains. Will this be enough to transform the culture of an institution steeped in tradition and hierarchy? For now, Jin's efforts serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of speaking out against injustice, no matter the odds. His courage and compassion have not only brought hope to those affected by bullying, but have also set a precedent for others to follow. In the end, Jin's legacy extends far beyond music. It is a legacy of leadership, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the well-being of others. The aftermath of Jin's powerful stand at the military meeting continued to ripple across not only the military establishment, but also the broader public sphere. Media outlets seized upon the story, amplifying the emotional resonance of his speech and the critical issues he raised. Social media platforms became a hub of discourse, with hashtags like #JinForChange and #StopMilitaryBullying trending globally. Fans, military families, and even former soldiers shared their stories, expressing solidarity with Jin's call for reform. However, as Jin's role in this movement gained momentum, questions began to surface. Would his proposals lead to tangible change, or would they fade into the bureaucratic inertia that so often hinders institutional reform? Was the military truly prepared to confront its deep-seated issues, or was this moment of reckoning merely performative? Jin himself was acutely aware of these challenges. Despite the overwhelming support he received, he knew that his advocacy was only the first step in a long and arduous process. Determined to sustain the momentum, he began collaborating with military officials, legal experts, and advocacy groups to develop actionable plans for addressing bullying. He also reached out to organizations that specialized in mental health support, recognizing the critical role of emotional well-being in combating harassment and abuse. Meanwhile, Jungkook's story continued to capture the public's attention. As one of the most beloved figures in BTS, his ordeal resonated deeply with fans who admired his strength and vulnerability. Though Jungkook chose to remain silent on the matter, his quiet resilience spoke volumes. Support poured in from every corner of the globe, with fans organizing campaigns to raise awareness about bullying and its devastating impact. The military, for its part, appeared to take Jin's message seriously. Within weeks of the meeting, a task force was established to investigate reports of bullying and propose reforms. Jin was invited to serve as an advisor to the task force, a role he accepted with humility and determination. His involvement lent credibility to the initiative and signaled a genuine commitment to change. As these efforts unfolded, Jin found himself navigating a delicate balance between his advocacy work and his career as an artist. Offers for interviews, endorsements, and appearances flooded in, but Jin remained selective, prioritizing projects that aligned with his values. He used his platform to amplify the voices of those affected by bullying, ensuring that their stories were heard and their struggles acknowledged.